I'm Brian Van, SportbikeTrackHear.com, and today we're going to talk about glove fit and sizing. We just finished a big race glove comparison feature. We started on this later in 2018. It took me all the way into 2019 to wrap this thing up. And I got to tell you, we learned a lot about gloves along the way. And the most significant thing we learned is it is critical the gloves fit and feel a certain way right out of the bag, or you're simply never going to be happy with them. We put a lot of effort into the things that we do here to educate the riders that choose to shop at STG, because it's important you're happy with the things you buy. We don't want to just sell you something and then sell you something else because the first thing didn't work out. I want you to buy it. I want you to be happy with it, get all the life and performance out of it possible, and then because we've done a good job, come on back for your next purchase. With gloves, I'm going to show you step by step a process that I use to evaluate fit. And I think this is going to help a lot of riders avoid that pitfall of riding in a pair of gloves, assuming they're going to stretch enough, and then ultimately ending up having to replace them without ever riding in them long enough to totally wear them out. Okay, so you just received that new pair of race gloves and you're ready to evaluate the fit. I'm going to kind of share with you things I've learned and things that I'll do to see if I'm going to be happy with the size I've chosen. We're going to use this pair of Tai Chi GP Evo gloves to do that. Pull them out of the package, save all the original packaging, leave all the tags on the gloves. The reason for that is very simple. If in fact you evaluate the fit and you're not happy with it, you want to send it back, I want it to be hassle-free and easy for both of us. Get the glove opened up and go ahead and slide your hand in. The first thing we're going to do is, how do we feel about the effort it takes to get your hand inside the glove? It really bottlenecks here around the wrist. It needs to, in order to keep the glove on, the shape of the glove. That's normal, but make sure that you're not finding enough resistance here that you're really not going to be comfortable with it, because that's not going to change a tremendous amount after breaking. All right, I'm happy with that. That felt pretty good. Make sure the glove is all the way down. Next up, before we tighten up the gauntlet, I want to see how much space I have here to make sure that I'm going to be able to get the sleeve of my race suit in this glove. Clearly with this one, there is plenty of gauntlet there so we can move forward. Strap it up. We're going to go right to finger length. One of the things we definitely learned was gloves really do not like to stretch much lengthwise. If the fingers are too short right out of the bag, odds are they're never going to stretch and get you where you need to be. Make sure the glove is seated. I'm going to take the index finger of my other hand. I'm just going to slide it into the V of the fingers and make sure it's bottom. That glove is literally right where it needs to be. It's not too tight, so I like the finger length. Now let's evaluate width of the fingers. That all feels good. If that is a little tight, the width of the fingers when you first get it, and the width of the palm, and I'm saying just a little bit to the tight side, that will ease with break-in. Okay, so length won't, but width will absolutely yield a bit with some use. Still, when you pull them out of the package, if it's very tight and very distracting out of the package, odds are they will not stretch and break in enough. Next, I want to make sure that I've got good dexterity in the fingers and at the wrist, thumb, all those areas. This is something that does change as they break in. Okay, so you don't need to be hypercritical here, but that feels good. I like the mobility and dexterity. Feel, that's a big deal for me. I really want to feel that brake lever. I want to feel the nubs on the grip. I've got this old Woodcraft frame slider puck that just kind of sits on my desk. And with new gloves, I'll grab it and I'll just start rolling around a slider. Yeah, okay, all right, I can feel the ridges on it. The dexterity feels really good. Okay, cool. Now, how many times have you seen somebody try a pair of gloves on and they, like this, make a tight fist? You're never doing that when you're on the track, ever. You always are going to have a bar in your hands. So when you evaluate that, wrap your hands around the bar of your motorcycle. Feel that brake lever, feel that clutch lever, and make sure you're happy with all of that. It's also important too that when you're evaluating the fit of the fingers, the length of the fingers, you do the same thing with the thumb. Just make sure it's all the way in the V, okay? If you go through all this and you find the glove is just too tight and distracting, let's go ahead and let's get an RA number, let's get these things heading back, and let's get you into a different size or a different glove. Conversely, if you go through all these checks, and by now you're gonna have these on for 10 or 15 minutes, or you're gonna have them on for a little while, and you're like, I like everything I feel so far, they need just a little bit of break in, I think you're ready to pull the tags and go for a ride.